Hey guys, it's WooGs here, recording um, a video that kind of came up after some discussions in one of the discords that we had talking about bossing. The topic of Barb has no Rathma D2 kills, so it was brought up that Wolfbarb was really good for this, and there was a lot of debate back and forth, myself included, that I wasn't too confident, but I had never tried it in this season, so I loaded up my season 6 or 7 Wolfbarb, I can't recall, on non-ladder. So this is on live server, and I am running essentially the same gear I had when I did it then, but just added a little bit of PLR. And this is the first run. I did a respec to be more in line with some changes in Barb this season, so I'll go through the skills at the end. But it's really, this is on live server, this is D2 Rathma. I was skeptical because wasn't sure why people didn't get the kills, but other people were quite confident about it, so I thought I'd run through it. And now that I have the kill, I kind of wanted to show with some commentary of why this works, how this works, and kind of my idea and strategy. So I'll talk about some of the gear and some of the choices I make in the fight and such. So as we run through here, the first phase is pretty normal, where you have a lot of damage on men down. You can see you phase them almost instantly. I always focus the bottom two golems first, because those ones will reach men down first. They spawn just a little bit closer, so it's definitely advisable to get those ones first. You see we have a lot more damage than we need before they would reach them. You really want to dodge spires and do damage in between where you can. You can get hit by one or two spires since you have 4k life here, but I typically, as you see, I kind of move away from them, and I get ready to hit the bottom two golems. Might tank a spire or two there, but it's not really worth hitting too much and then getting hit by a bunch of spires. I'm running 125 PLR here. You could probably run a decent amount more. 175 would be the cap. It would really just depend on the amulet you're using to hit additional PLR there, or if you had nice crafted armor perhaps instead of the G-Bane. Is some options, or some PLR rings would be some additional options as you go through. So the first phase I think is really easy for most classes, I would say. There is just some annoyance if you get hit by like 3 spires or something, but once you just practice, know how many spires you can get hit by and just get used to the patterns, you can kind of always just dodge them as you need to. I mean, if it's only one coming and you know it's only one, and the timer is not going to be that another one will come right after in case a cold wave is going to FHR lock you, you can just tank it. That's usually what I do. So I haven't dropped the cube here, so it's quite a bit of pots left as we get into the final phase here. So I would just over pot as needed. And you see we go through. For the gear, the Odium is quite good. I'm using that to get to 3 FPA. It's, IAS ED slam with 4 EDIS jewels. So that is really good. So you'd probably have something a little bit worse, most likely. I mean, this is a ladder kill. It's just on non-ladder, so it was my ladder gear, but I would assume you'd have a bit worse one. The only piece of gear I do not like for this kill is I have a Saracen's Ami. It actually has 70 ED, which has 50 now as the max. So that additional 20 ED is a bit annoying, but it makes really no difference in the fight. But I don't like that it's not something you can get. What I would actually run is like a 2 to all barb with PLR and max res. I mean, that would be the best, or just a PLR one in general. And then that way you can drop Death's Hands. If you can drop Death's Hands, then you can use Soul Drainers or any other really good gloves. Soul Drainers reducing the defense just as a cheat code there, kind of just to always hit. It seems that they use the same model from Mon props in phase 1 to phase 3, so your minus defense you do there kind of carries over. One difference from my season 6 barb guide, I am still using Grimward. I didn't use it in phase 1 because it's not needed, but I'm not using Venom anymore because Desecrate disappears after 5 seconds. So what we're doing is we're using No Nature's ring, and instead we're using a Wisp, which you don't really need, but the idea is that without Nature's, the Conjuring Souls or the Void Knights will leave bodies on the ground, which then you could spawn a Grimward to. So you'll see there I spawn the Grimoire now, and then now I do significant more damage. And significant more AR. I believe it increases 5k AR. I think I showed at the end. So that's kind of massive. Can fix a lot of your AR problems. I am maxing Grimoire here. With Wolfbarb, you have no combat skills, so you get to just max through war cries and masteries. So I'm maxing Grimoire. It has a 40-second duration, but it has a huge, damage increase on that. So the fact that you'll just always have Void Knights on the ground is really nice. This was a good spawn here. It was a mix of poison here, so that was kind of nice. I don't get so lucky in phase 3, but I mean you'll see how many pots left you have. It's not really a problem. You don't need to spam the Grimoires like I'm doing. I just this was my first attempt and my only attempt at it, so I just kind of was just making sure I had them up and just kind of getting used to the fight, because I hadn't done Wolfbarb in this season at all. So it's kind of just a test here. So this phase I think is pretty reasonable. You do want to listen to the spears and dodge them because they do percent life. So he makes like a ding sound almost, and you kind of want to move perpendicular, like to the side there, as he shoots that out. If he makes the noise and then teleports, he's going to shoot it 3 times. He's going to go one, teleport, another, teleport, another. So you kind of want to make sure to dodge that. The issue I had here is my volume was actually really far down. You see he's doing the 3 teleport one here. My volume was really down, so I actually couldn't hear the spears, so that was a bit of a mistake on my end. So I do fix that going into phase 3. Yeah, I think I'm typing that out here. So that was kind of a mistake, because you can dodge so many more spears and avoid so much more damage if you just do that. I am using Death Sands the whole time. I'm just testing my audio here, just to hit the 75 plus 50 PLR. Like I said, if I had a PLR AME, I would have done that. I don't have one on ladder, so it's kind of just what it is. I'm using a Mang Song for BO. It's not a +1, it's just a normal crappy Mang Song. You could use some BO sticks as well. Mang Songs is nice because it boosts your transformation as well. So that's kind of a reason why most Wolfbarbs do that. But you could just use some BO sticks as well. It's kind of up to you. It doesn't make a massive difference there. Like I said, the Wisp you also don't need, but I would not run in Natures. If you run in Natures, you cannot use Grimoire. If you cannot use Grimoire, you're missing massive AR and you're missing massive damage. So I'm still a Grimoire believer. I mean, ever since I got introduced to it in season 5 or 6, I can't recall, whatever that video was, I think season 6, I've been using it whenever I do a barb kill, always. It's just so much damage and so much AR for free. There's no reason not to use it. It is annoying to gear without a Natures, I know, but it is 100% worth it, because the stats you are gaining far outweighs many sockets, so it's not really a consideration in my opinion. You should just do it. Maybe that's a reason people don't have a kill, because they're trying to use not a Grimoire and they're transforming. I don't know, but definitely not the play. So now my volume is much higher here. So strategy going into phase 3, not so much really. I'm just going to focus Mendel first. I'm going to listen for spears as they come in. So when they come in, I'm going to try to dodge them as best I can. You won't dodge every single one. When he does that teeth fire on the ground, move out of that in case it's hitting you, because that does a significant amount of damage. You don't want to sit too really below 50% life for too long, just because the spear can one-shot you. And then you want to do your antidote at the end of that phase, of course. Then you're going to get your Grimoire up here. So once that first Conjuring Soul comes up, or a Void Knight, usually it'll be a Conjuring Soul, you want to get that Grimoire up. And then if you get these 2 positions here, is perfect, because you cover the entire arena. So there's no need to have another one down until the next 40 seconds. But your phase 1 Void Knight's bodies, as you see there, right beside my body there, will last the whole time. So you don't have to worry about not having a Grimoire up for the rest of the fight. We actually skipped a phase there. We went right into the phase again. We have so much damage, so you really don't need this much damage. It's kind of too much damage. because he double phased men down there, which isn't ideal normally because you're just getting extra poison damage with not enough time to refill your belt. So I would avoid that generally. I wasn't really paying attention. Make sure your pots, I don't like to get down less than 4 pots, so I always kind of refill every little bit. Mendown's like Sludge Nova doesn't one-shot you anymore, so you're fine to just kind of run away and fill up your pots. And just kind of listen for that spear to come in. We didn't get Fizz Knight, so that's obviously great, but we got a mix of fire and poison, so it is what it is. I never drop the cube at the beginning. I make sure to always have the same way of adding your pots as you go through. This gives you better consistency when you're refilling, because if you drop it on the ground and you're clicking to pick up your first 16 pots, but then the remaining pots you're pulling out of your inventory, you're not going to be used to it. You're going to be doing it slower. It's just better to have the same consistency, in my opinion. So now that Mendel's dead, Rathma's already phased 3 times, so we're just bursting him down. You see we have a lot of damage. We're going to dodge these 3 spears, and then we're just going to finish him off here. So we had a pretty decent RNG there, I would say. Let's clear up this guy so I can actually do some talking. But we had a significant number of pots left, as you can see. That for a D2 kill, like that is too much, let's say. So obviously you'll have a little bit worse gear maybe, so you should be able to do it. But so that's the Odium there, so kind of perfect. We're just using Gul Gul Ohm in, and then Ohm Jaw Jaw. That's hands, AR Raven, AR Wisp, which you don't actually need AR because, like I said, we're using the Grimoire, which gives us massive AR. I have 95 chance to hit with the Grimoire down, so a little bit, I think 70 something beforehand. For charms, I don't show it, but you could use AR, max AR, or you can use Masteries or War Cries. They're all about equal. So whatever one you get that has the most life, use those. You see my skill breakdown there. So you'll see my damage here. I'll do my BO again, and we'll kind of show what my damage is with the Wisp guy out. And with Grimoire, you see it jumps up another 2k with up to 15.7k AR, so it's pretty crazy. So yeah, there it is.